Well, welcome back, my friends all, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. Very, very, very special. Kind of a Grail knife rendition for me. Today we've got the Miller Bros Blades M15. Big, huge thank you, shout out, much love to Matt G for sending this to me to check out. Man, you guys are amazing. Matt, brother, thank you so much. This is definitely a Grail. It's been amazing. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Miller Bros Blades M15. Let's talk all about it. Wasn't that a great intro by old Scabber? You know it was. One worthy of a Grail knife. Here's the deal. Here's the way I want to cover this. I've been asked, is there a place for actual use with a knife like this? So I kind of want to answer that a little bit, but I want to talk about a lot of things. The main thing I want to talk about is this knife. Now, this is the Miller Brothers Blade M15. It is a drop point. The steel is Z-Wear PM. Blade thickness is 0.33 inches or around 5/16. The blade depth is about 1.54, about an inch and a half on the blade width there. Overall length is 11.375 inches. Blade length is right at 5.975 inches. Your cutting edge is right around 5.5, something like that. Now, the handle scales are G10, very, very comfortable and contoured to your hand. The inner grip, which I find to be the most important measurement for me, and that's because I'm reviewing it. The inner grip, where your knuckles line up, is 4 1/8. The handle thickness is 3/4. Now, I made several notes to try to get through this. The weight of this knife is 18.37 ounces. So it is a thick beast, but it is not, let me say this again, it is not a sharpened pry bar. It is a damn cutting tool. What I wanted to do from the time I cut the paper straight through this video, everything is sequential. You know, I showed you a little bit up front of some batoning, or really me slamming the knife into a stump. But from that point on, or this point on, everything's sequential. That's important. I want you to see how the edge held up. Now, I am not familiar at all with Z-Wear PM. If I tried to tell you anything, it would simply be me regurgitating what I've seen, what I've read. I don't do that. There's a couple of caveats if you're new here. First is this: I don't sell knives, and I don't try to convince you they're any good. The knife working will either convince you or it won't, okay? We're not the QVC, and we don't try to be, and I don't say that assholey. I say that truthfully. I want you to understand, I started this channel to show knives and have fun, and man, it's taken off. This has been an amazing 3.5 years. The 60 to 70% of what you guys see me show is either my knife that I've bought or I've acquired, or a subscriber's knife. There are 4, 5, maybe 6 companies that send me things, and I always let you know that up front. But these are the knives I dig. Now, I'm going to be quiet and just kind of let you watch this for a minute. Ready to go. I was going to edit this down, and I thought, no, I'm not doing it. I want you to see the amount of abuse this knife can take. Now listen. Matt asked me to beat the hell out of this knife. I asked him, I said, man, give me some parameters. He said, Scab, there are none. Beat it like you own it. And Kirk was out here with me, and I'm very thankful for Kirk. Having an extra set of eyes, guys, when you're doing this, not only helps with the filming, but he gets a different perspective. And you could probably hear him in the background saying, try this, try that. I'm going to tell you something. This ain't the normal pine we normally use. This is some of that old box store hardwood, son. Some of that firewood you buy from like a Home Depot or Lowe's. And I believe half the time the shit's petrified. This thing is just a chunk, a brick. And we go all the way through it. And I show you every ounce of it I want to. Here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. I said this up front, and I mean this. This is a Grail knife. Miller Brothers is a company I've had my eye on for a long time. And the truth is, if you want the truth of the matter, I will probably never own one. And I know people are going to tell me they're not in stock. I get it. This channel isn't set up for that, okay? My goal as a channel is to bring you as many badass blades as I can. Price doesn't make it badass. Availability doesn't make it badass. I want to bring you blades that you want to see, okay? And I want to show you as many of them as I can before old Scabber leaves this world. If I had to tell you why I love this blade so much, I couldn't. I really couldn't. There's a term on this channel we call a vibe knife. This is a vibe knife. The handle, the ergo of the handle is for me, 10 out of 10. And again, if you're new here, I don't make broad sweeping statements unless I have extensive experience with a company. This is the only Miller Brothers I have ever put my hands on. So when I make a statement, it's about the knife in hand, okay? That's what I'm talking about. That's all I can speak to. And I can tell you this is one tough bastard right here. But here's the thing. They did it right. They did the entire knife right. It stayed sharp through this entire demonstration. We don't do reviews. There's nothing scientific, right? We simply take the knife, we cut a bunch. I'll be honest with you. Real life, I don't baton. This is a thing to simply show wear and tear on the edge, okay? I believe when I go camping or when I'm in the woods, I want my knife to be a cutting tool. But I will tell you this, and I will tell you this honestly, to know that a knife would be able to withstand this and still cut and still slice is impressive. Now, here's the deal. We all know that cutting comes down to blade geometry, but that's not it. That's not all it. That's a part of it. There's the steel involved. There's the heat treat. There's the blade geometry. There's the grind. There's a litany of factors that go in. And I'm going to tell you something. These boys have nailed it on every single one. The knife is a dream to use. They give you plenty of handle to grab on with. It is grippy G10. There is strategic jimping throughout the handle. I love when they do that and do it correctly. Now, here's the truth. I could have done 3 different videos on this knife. I could have done 3. If I wasn't so far behind right now, I would have done 3. I would have done an unboxing, fit and finish, and showed you every aspect of this knife. I would have done this, a use demonstration or harder use demonstration. And then the third one, and what I would have done would have been just one of our cutting, slicing videos where we use different grips and we do different things to just cut and slice and really get a feel for the knife. I tried to cram as much stuff as I could into this 16 minutes and 59 seconds as I could. And guys, here's the thing. I'm a talker and I can ramble. I'm trying to stay on point. But the deal is this. If you're new here, man, and you just want to watch the knife work, I try to set my videos up where you can turn the narration down and you can just watch the knife work. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is a horse of a knife. It cut and it cut and it cut and it cut and it kept cutting. Now, I mentioned earlier, I was asked if there's a place for this kind of knife to be used as a knife. Would somebody? Absolutely. Listen, the knife world, the knife community, and I'm not just talking about YouTube, I'm talking about all across the world, knife lovers everywhere. And do you realize how many different types of knife lovers there are out there? There's pocket knives, and then there's probably 10 different types of those. There's fixed blades, there's 100 different types of those. There's bushcrafters, right? There's campers, there's hunters, there's fishermen, there's outdoorsmen, there are collectors, there are weapons guys, there are every kind of knife person on the planet. For as many different knives as there are, that's how many different folks love knives. And you see the contour and the ergo of the handles there, done incredibly, incredibly well. Yes, I know I did 2 different tip tests on it. I meant to. But the thing is this, guys, I set this channel up so that we would not be locked into just one. We're not just a fixed blade channel. We're not just a pocket knife channel. We're not just a tactical or a bushcraft channel. I set this up so that I could play with knives, and that's just the God's honest truth. I love all knives, and I know a lot of people do. See, when I'm talking, I'm not talking about everybody else or anybody else. I'm not talking about anybody except old Scab from Choir Boys Outdoors. That's why I said up front, man, I want to bring you every kind of style of knife there is, from inexpensive to expensive to everyday to Grail. That is my goal. This is a beast. It is a beast. It took and it took and it took and it took. Not one chip, not one roll, not one single bit of damage. And here's the deal. For the price point, there shouldn't be. Let's just be honest. But here's the other thing that I don't really argue or talk about, and I'll explain why. I don't talk about price point a whole lot. I don't make them. I don't sell them. I don't make money off of them. And when I say that, I think people think I'm trying to be an asshole. I'm not. I just want you to understand my goal is to show you the knife. I have no say over how much somebody charges for a knife, and I'm not about to tell somebody what they should charge for a knife. It's their time, it's their talent, their deal. My goal, again, is to show you the knife work. A couple of things real quick. First and foremost, the most important part of this channel is this right here. Guys, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. They talk about all the time the real numbers anywhere from 15 to 29. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you have a place here. I back the blue. It's not popular, and that's okay. I've stated my case a million times. I'm not arguing with anybody over it because I'm not trying to convince you of it or sell it to you or shove it down your throat. I'm just telling you what I believe in, okay? How do you do it, Scabber? Well, I don't break the damn law anymore. I used to all the time. Pretty simple. Finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. And guys, I mean that last part from the bottom of my soul and depths of my heart. I want y'all to see this right here, and here's what I want to explain to you. This tire, I have tried to stab this tire with probably 30 different knives. That's the God's honest truth. This is the only knife that ever penetrated it. We use a lot of 10-ply trailer tires at the shop. This one's still reinforced. I'm going to wind up cutting a piece out of it and showing it to you. And again, no damage, none. Now, let me say this too. The Sheath, I adore. I'm not usually a fit and finish guy. I'm just not. Matt sent this one. I'm pretty sure he bought it secondhand, but it was in phenomenal shape. There's a Kydex Sheath with kind of a leather frog type setup. Molly compatible, Pals compatible, belt carry, scout carry, and of course they've done it correctly, and it is gorgeous. The handle, we got about a minute and a half left. I want to talk about the handle. I don't care what a knife's made of, and I'm going to do a little research on Z-Wear, and I'm going to look up Miller Brothers a lot more. But the handle, if the handle doesn't speak to this broke down, beat up old man, I can't use it. I can't rave about it. This might be the best handle I've ever held in my life. It contours to my hand. It fits me like a glove, and it just let me work. And here was one thing that impressed me about it. You see me with my glove on there. I typically use a glove for a tip test or hard stabbing. It's like this handle was designed to either use with or without gloves. They nailed it. They nailed it. There's some built-in ergos that protects your hand, that lock your hand in there. And it's not just that of jimping. Now you see that steel belted right there? This is after. The cutting is after. Instead of cutting paper, guys, I wanted to cut this rope. I thought, what better way after all of that and stuff y'all haven't seen, stuff I couldn't add in. I cut it not once, but twice. Son, this thing's impressive. Matt, dude, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. But guys, remember this, please. I'm scared. You're not. And I'm gone, son. Love y'all.